Hello friends, it's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums. It's been a while since I've come on here, but I did purchase some new decks during the Hay House sale that I saw probably a couple of weeks ago. So I wanted to do some deck unboxings, and today I have this one that I thought was very interesting. It's called the Lotería Remedios Oracle by Xelena González, and the artwork is from Sotelo Yamasaki. Now, this is a 54 card deck and guidebook that has soulful remedies and affirmations from the Mexican Loteria. Now, as you may or may not know, I am actually Mexican. And so I love seeing different decks that incorporate the cultural aspects that I grew up with, or even just having a little bit of that throwback to that and also adding in a spiritual component. So anyone who has grown up in a Hispanic household, I think, is familiar with the Loteria. And so it's essentially kind of like our bingo, but we use different things, different cards and symbols instead. So I love that the inside of this box just says that may we always remember the remedios that we carry within. Remedios means like the healing, the lessons, the knowledge. There's not really a word to kind of talk or really describe what the word remedios means. It's like all of those things in one. And so I just love this, and I love the lilies. It just reminds me of like different pottery and things like that that you may see. So this is a traditional kind of deck, in that sense, traditional size for most what's it called, mass published decks. It has that kind of open, I don't even know, is it a clamshell box? And then inside we have some of that kind of like, again, like a little throwback, kind of like that connection back to Mexican pottery. So here we have the back of the cards. It's simple, reversible, so that's fun. And I haven't even opened this, so here we go. Let's try to get it. I can't even get it open. There's no gilding on the sides of the cards. It's just normal, kind of cardstock. It doesn't feel super thick, but we'll go through the cards in a second. Let's look at this book and see what we have here. So it doesn't look like it's going to be in color, but there's a little bit of information on each of the cards. And then there's a welcome message, and then also the explanation of the loteria, or the lottery, if we're translating it. And so it really just talks about the history of it, how people use it, different things that are kind of related to the symbolism seen within the cards and things like that. So I just think it's really interesting that the author decided to kind of talk about these things, and then also how to use the cards, which I think is wonderful. So here we have some card spreads. And then we also have the actual cards. I wonder if they're in Spanish, actually. Yeah, so they're in Spanish and in English, which I do think is great. So it just kind of translates it for you. So alphabetical list of where they're at, and then the card meaning. So there's not a lot of artwork in the card or in the actual guidebook, but it does have the information of like what the messages are, which I think is great, because as I started getting more into using cards and things like that, I always thought that someone should make the traditional artwork from La Loteria into some sort of oracle. And I've seen people use it as an oracle in different ways, because I mean, there's a lot of different things in there. And I think if you're someone who is into symbolism and things like that, you can kind of devise your own meaning for this. So I think it's great to have these cards that are a larger size. And here's some information about the author and about the artist. I think it's great. So let's look at the cards and let's see what we have here. So again, this is just a deck unboxing. This is not going to be a deck review. I have not even opened up the deck yet. So here's El Gallo, or the rooster, El Diablito. So there's been some updates It looks like they've updated the artwork to kind of represent more modern themes, but there's some kind of like throwbacks to the original artwork from the Lotería. Barrel. I do like some of the extra additions that they've had to the deck here. As we can see, we have little things. I'm excited to see how this deck can be used and how I can kind of connect with it a little bit more. And it's giving me a lot of this kind of nostalgic feeling. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful card. And I do like that the author explained some of the cards and why they were added and how they were used in the original deck, or in the original kind of like card system, the game. And it seems like some of the artwork has been updated to fit more modern times. And I don't know, something about this artwork is very whimsical. It feels very like, I don't know, it almost reminds me of like Frida Kahlo's artwork or Diego Rivera, very famous Mexican artist that had kind of that weird, very colorful sort of artwork. And I'm excited to see how this all looks whenever we're using it, to see what kind of messages we receive with these cards and how they translate. So, like I said, the cardstock is a little bit thinner, I think, than I've seen with some newer card decks. So it's not super thick. And it is a traditional oracle size, so we do have that. So it's a little bendy, nothing too crazy. You can kind of look at it. So I think it's good for shuffling. Let's see what I think it's good. I do have small hands, so I don't always do very well with, this is kind of a larger deck because it does have, I think, 54 cards, she said, or it says on the box. So we have a little bit of this kind of energy. So we have the little devil, the shrimp, and the heron. So I think it's it'll be fun to kind of utilize, and especially for my more like Mexican or Hispanic clients that have traditionally grown up using La Lotería in their household. I think it's kind of a fun little like throwback, but then also kind of adding in another layer here. So again, this is called the Lotería Remedios Oracle. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. Is this a deck that you would have purchased? Is this a deck that you would use in your practice? If you are Hispanic, is this something that you like to see as kind of this crossover between like a game and then also utilizing it as a tool for divination? So have a good one. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, stay safe, and as always, make good choices. Bye.